Hello, everybody. So we'll talk about editing. Editing activities and more in general, creative activities are the core of the media operations. Because at the end, what gets out of those operations is the content itself, and the content is what has value. So when you are a news organization, what you deliver creates the identity for your news organization. If you are an OTT service provider, the content is what will help you to control the churn rate of your subscribers. If you want to unleash the creativity and create high-value content, there are a number of challenges those days. The first one is distributed teams. We see more and more, if you are big organizations, multi-site types of typology, remote bureaus, people being on the field, and you want to also leverage the skills of artists which are not at your stations. How can you ensure that they will collaborate properly, even if they are at different locations? Different production conditions. If you are a news journalist in the field and you need to generate a package that will go on air and to cover something from Afghanistan, it's not the same as being in Hollywood to analyze the next big feature or movie of Pixar. Of course, and what is clear is that the amount of content that needs to be produced is increasing. The type of content, the width of platforms where you need to deliver the content, and also the type of content that you need to deliver to personalize your user experience. So how did Dalet approach all those challenges? Well, first, by concentrating and focusing on putting in place an inventory, a central inventory that will federate the collaboration of all the users around the content itself and around editorial choices, making sure that they spend time on creating added value content. Then it's making sure that we can provide a palette of tools that will answer the requirements of the users based on the conditions, the production conditions. Once we have that in place, we want to maximize the time allocated to creativity. Everything else, we want to automate it. All the tasks that can be automated must be automated. And finally, it's getting rid of the barriers of the location, the physical locations, but without compromising security, access to content. So that's what we've been doing in the last 10 years, or try to do. And the first of all was to put in place a global inventory that helps the collaboration between all the users. They all have access to the same repository of content, accessing raw material, finished content, any type of media, but we still keep access and keep the control on who is doing what, keeping the traceability, managing the versioning without duplicating content, having something efficient in terms of storage management, archiving, and finally, enforcing metadata entry, because this is how you can preserve your content for a long time and making sure that you can reuse it and monetize it. On top of that inventory, if you want to maximize the time dedicated to the creation, it's leveraging an orchestration layer that can drive and organize the creativity. That means planning the user activities. That means automating QC tasks, distribution tasks, archiving tasks, and making sure that the user will have just to concentrate on editing, mixing, and producing added value content. So once you have this framework in place, it's about giving and offering the right tool to the right person at the right time. If you need to approve a story that needs to go on air in the next 5 minutes, and you are the journalist that has the final word on this will be Dalet on the go that Raoul showed you just before, where you can easily access the content, preview it, reject it, and this will go on air. If you want to manage and to prepare the story that you want to put in place, managing a storyboard, collaborating, exchanging IDs, using a simple web browser, that's the storyboarding that you get in web space. Then you get to really producing the content itself. SBS is leveraging a lot OneCut because it allows for non-professional editors to generate and create content that will go well for TV, for radio, for digital, mixing video effects, transitions, graphics, voiceovers, everything in one simple tool. That is OneCut. If you want to do and put the cherry on the cake, and you have to do something extra and leverage the skills of professional editors, we have a framework of integration with craft editing tools. Avid Media Composer, Interplay, but also Adobe Premiere, where we introduce at NAB this year the ability to render and to offload the rendering of a sequence to back office media agents. That allows to free time for the user so that they can move to the next topic or to the next story to package. In addition, we're also managing the way to restore content directly from archive if media is not available on the local storage. We are also introducing at NAB expanding our integration with Adobe Creative Cloud by introducing and expanding the list of tools that we connect to. So it's connecting the Dalet environment with the Adobe ecosystem. We are introducing Dalet Extend for Adobe Audition, which allows a user to search, browse the content, import assets, do the mix, and then save a session, reopen it in another workstation so that you can have collaborative workflows between different locations or stations. But you can also render a session, and while doing all those operations, we track all the genealogy of the content. So we know which audio has been used when. We can track the royalties for all the audio songs that are used in the different packages. And last but not least, we are introducing a framework for remote editing that allows all the users to easily collaborate with the central station seamlessly. We are starting and introducing this framework with OneCut, and we plan to expand it with other tools. So I will show you now a quick demo video that shows you how it works. So I am a journalist in the field. I'm connecting, so this is more for a new scenario. I'm connecting to the central site, and I want to access some footage that I want to mix with my local footage. I have access seamlessly to the content via a proxy version available through the cloud. I can trim it, define in-out points, and put that footage in my timeline. I can seamlessly mix this content with local footage and apply transition, video effects, everything without knowing easily, or without knowing, or without having to know if the content is local or remote. I can disconnect my laptop from the network and continue working on content that was from the central site, because we are doing a smart caching of the central content on the local machine of the user. We can prepare a full package that you see here, apply video effects, putting a voiceover, adding graphics, and then at the end, we can render back the package to the central site directly. It will automatically upload the pieces of video that were imported locally from the machine itself. That's what you see here. And when I am at the central site, I will find all the content that comes from the remote field user. I can open all the full EDL that contains all those different elements, and I'm able to modify it or simply to validate it and move it on air. So it's really connecting the journalists in the field and the users at the central station with the same tools, with the ability to exchange rich information, metadata, and media between different locations seamlessly. So to summarize, we are relying on four main concepts to provide complete end-to-end solutions for editing. First one is putting in place a global inventory that can help federating the users around a central catalog, orchestrating all the tasks that do not require human interaction, offering a vast palette of tools based on the production requirements, and finally, opening the world to editing and production scenarios wherever you are. So you understood that we have also strong relationships with Adobe. So I will let the microphone to Patrick. We'll explain a bit more what we've done with Adobe Audition and how is the partnership between Dalet and why it is working so well. Thank you very much.